So the beta is here. In today's video, I'm going to discuss my overall impressions of the beta. The first thing I am going to do today is discuss the main issue that I talked about, kind of like the last part of it. Right now, I am using the Wi-Fi. It's actually finally working. So for those who don't know, kind of a brief update. Uploaded a video a while back stating that there was an error message popping up and you couldn't log into the game when you were on Wi-Fi. Apparently other people were having the same problem. Don't know what caused the problem, no idea. The day after the video, my phone had its monthly update. I was able to log in with Wi-Fi, and then the very next evening, it basically stopped working again. And now, as of like yesterday, which would have been Thursday, the 15th of May, it finally started working again. So I don't know if the issue is resolved. I would recommend that if you were having problems logging in through Wi-Fi to go ahead and try again. Maybe it's working now. If it's not, then that's something that the devs need to address. The only reason that it didn't affect me too much is because I have an unlimited data plan with my cell phone provider, not sponsored, but not everybody's going to have an unlimited data plan. So if the issue doesn't get fixed, if it's not, you're going to be basically cutting some people away from being able to enjoy your game. So hopefully they figured it out. Hopefully they found the issue, dealt with it, and we're good to go. We'll find out. I'm not going to make any assumptions right now. It might be fixed now and it could just go down tomorrow. I have no idea. But I wanted to bring that up because that is kind of the biggest issue that I've noticed. Now let's actually talk about the game itself. So this is a gacha game that has a turn-based RPG combat, which is my style of RPGs. I love turn-based or strategy RPGs. That's kind of my thing. So let's go ahead and show a few things. Something that I really like about this game is that you have the ability to kind of grind without actually having to sit there and watch. So we'll go do a challenge, right? And we're going to grind for some experience, right? So you go to continuous battle, and of course it has to be from a stage you've already completed. So you do that, hit start battle with however many you want to do. And then you would just go to the stage like you normally would, pick the team you want to use to do the fight. And then once you start the battle, you hit this little thing on the right side that you can tap and it'll take you out of the fight. And now it's auto battling. So if you look at the right side of the screen, close to the top, you'll see 1 of 5. It's on this first battle. So it's basically grinding for you. Now, while this is happening, I can back up, go to a different stage to grind. Let's just do this real quick. And then I can do this stage at the same time. Now, I can't do continuous battle on a second quest. You can only do one grind at a time automatically. Everything else will have to be manual. So what I'll do is I'll play this stage while, I'm talking so that you have something to look at while you listen to me yap. So I'm going to lower the speed because, I'm basically don't want to necessarily rush it, and we're going to go from here. Now, this isn't like the most optimal team. This is just a team I'm using for this particular stage, but not important. So let's go ahead and hit battle and let it go auto. Now, visually, I think the game is decent. I don't think it's doing anything super crazy. It doesn't. Its specials and abilities are not super flashy, which I think is okay. The issue with some games that are too flashy is that it might cause you to have some lag and some issues, especially if your device is not optimized well enough for the game. So this is kind of a more simple animation to where the performance seems to be the main focus. So I appreciate that. But visually, it's okay. It's not doing anything revolutionary or crazy. It's just fine. Characters look decent. I don't really have a strong opinion. I just think it's okay. In terms of the music, I think the music is also just okay. I haven't really heard any tracks that I would say are bangers or anything like that. It's just okay. I wouldn't say it's in my top 5 list of best music in gachas. I wouldn't go that far, but it's okay. That's all I can say in terms of the music. I haven't really been paying attention to the story at all. Now, the voice acting, I will say, is Japanese or Chinese, depending on what you pick. There's no English voice acting yet, at least not in the beta. Don't know if they're going to add it in the actual release of the game or not. Hard to say. But basically, I'm just here more for the combat than anything else. So I'm not going to be paying attention to story, so I can't comment on how good it is. So, that's the thing. In terms of the actual combat itself, again, it's a turn based combat. You have three skills that your characters can use. On the bottom right of the screen, while you're fighting, it'll give you kind of a brief summary of what each skill does. Like it'll say defense down, CC for crowd control, revive, heal. It'll just say like a phrase giving you a brief description of what it does in case you don't feel like reading a whole bunch of text trying to figure out what all specifically it does. You're just trying to get in there with your favorite characters. You at least have a decent brief idea or summary of what the skills do, so I appreciate that. And of course, there's a lot of building as far as your characters are concerned. Like, you need to level them, you gotta level their skills. You have these little, like, creatures you can attach to them that you need to level up and get duplicates to make them stronger. This game does also allow you to get duplicates of these characters. However, I would say that it's not necessary if you're just playing it for the events. There are some games where you need duplicates if you want to like unlock a character's full potential. And technically, yes, getting all their dupes will make them stronger, but it doesn't feel like a necessity like it does in some other games. They're mostly stat bumps, and I think their last duplicate will give you like something a little extra. But again, not mandatory. This is more for people who are trying to be super competitive. Like if you're trying to get top ranking in any other ranking modes in the game, that's where that kind of stuff would matter. But if you're just trying to enjoy the game in general, I don't think that's going to be a big deal for you. If you just get the character and level them and all that stuff, that's pretty much good enough, right? Just level them, level their skills, level their whatever you equip them with, and that should be enough. Unless you're like super sweaty. So, what I've noticed that I really feel like this is a gacha game that's meant to be super competitive. Now, if you're just a casual that's just kind of enjoying the game and just leveling up your favorite characters, that's fine. There are a lot of events that you can do, but I do feel like this is specifically trying to be a PvP game, and that's fine. So, if you are a PvP fanatic, I think you'll love this. There are a lot of PvP modes in this game, not including the guild stuff that you can potentially do in the future. That's another thing as well. So, I do like the fact that they do push a good balance of a lot of PvE events and a lot of PvP stuff to basically make it to where everybody, no matter what your playstyle is, can enjoy the game. So that's a cool thing. Now, in terms of guilds, I did temporarily create a guild just to test out the things you can do. Basically, there are these bosses you can fight, and you can get rewards based off of like how much damage you can deal and if you can kill it, things like that. So that's kind of cool, and you get some decent rewards. They have like weekly rewards and stuff like that too. I think it's really cool. It gives the guild something to do and something to work towards. So I like the guild structure. What else can I think of? One thing that I will say, and this really applies to any game that has guilds, because this is a game that pushes PvP a lot, there are going to be some players that are going to feel a little like they don't fit in, because certain guilds are going to want you to go hard, right? They want to be the top guild. You need to use an X amount of stamina. You need to contribute a lot. You need to have like, good stuff to help be the top teams. If you're the kind of person that likes to take it slow and chill, and you end up being in one of those guilds that requires a lot, you need to leave the guild and find a guild that is a little more casual friendly. There will be a variety of players who will want to either create a casual guild or create a hardcore, let's be a top ranking guild. So Don't get discouraged if you accidentally join a guild that doesn't want you. It just means that that's not the guild for you. And like I said, this applies to many other games because, like I said, I played a lot of gacha games and been in a lot of guilds. I've even been a guild leader in a few different games, so I kind of get it. So don't feel discouraged. Is basically what I'm trying to tell you guys. You know, if you're a chill casual player, make sure you find a chill casual guild. That's going to be my public service announcement. And if you can find that guild that you can chill with, maybe that might motivate you to do a lot of the PvE stuff. You know, maybe help with the guild boss, and contribute a little bit of stamina, but not feeling like you have to, you know, get this taken care of. I think that you'll be okay. Just look at they'll usually tell you like casual friendly, or it'll tell you like, requirement of this or this or that. Just look at what their requirements are. If you feel like that's the go for you, go ahead and join it. But yeah, the game has a lot of stuff you can do. Another thing that I do need to mention is that this game events are level gated. So what that means is you won't be able to participate in certain events unless your account is level 5 or 10 or 15 or whatever the case may be. But once you get to that level, then you can participate in more and more game modes. And they do have a variety of modes you can do, especially if you're just looking for PvE stuff. There's a lot to do once you level up. Now, you don't necessarily need to worry and push about, getting everything done as fast as you can, unless you're just a hardcore. You can take your time and enjoy the game. In terms of the story difficulty, I think it's balanced well. I don't think it's too difficult. As long as you've been, leveling at least like one good DPS and one good support, I think that you'll be able to clear the content without too much issue. My recommendation for people that are trying to take it slow is level like maybe one character at a time, as far as getting all their abilities maxed out and leveling them as much as you can. Like maybe two characters, like level up one DPS and one support character, and just focus on those two characters. And then once you get them taken care of, you can then start, finding other characters that you want to level and do it that way, so that they can carry you in your grinding process. There is an element of weakness system, so the game does encourage you to collect a variety of different characters. So I'm hoping that, this will be something that you can do slowly and be okay with. But yeah, there's a lot going on in the game. The elemental stuff. Basically, red beats green, green beats blue, blue beats red, and then there's also lights and darks. Supposedly, what I've been hearing from other people is that lights and darks are basically your PvP characters. Don't know for sure. I don't really pay that much attention to meta stuff, so I wouldn't know. But they're basically a higher rarity, more or less, or that's what it seems like. They're harder to get, and the gacha for the light dark characters are a lot more expensive, and maybe to some of you are maybe not worth it. But I will say, in terms of the gacha, just pull on the standard banner. It will give you have the chance of pulling the light darks for cheaper, and you have a chance of even pulling the main banner character as well. So you don't have to necessarily put all your resources in going to the main banner, because it's going to cost you more. Just do the standard banner; it'll cost you less, and you'll get potentially more stuff. It is a bit random, but I think it'll be all right. I wouldn't stress. And then maybe find like a couple of SRs that you might like as well. But yeah, I think that might be all of my main impressions. Before I started playing this game, or before I got invited to the beta, I was pretty hype on the game, a new turn-based gacha game. Like, I love that kind of stuff, and knowing that this was coming out, I was super hyped. Now that I played it, I'm kind of more chill on it. Like, I still think it's a good game, but, I'm not as, like, super crazy as I was before the game launched, or before the beta launched. This will be coming out in June for everybody. I do hope that the issue that I talked about in the previous video gets resolved, so that everybody can try to enjoy this game. But I do encourage anyone that's a fan of turn-based combat or PvP in general to try this game, and hopefully you all have fun with it. But I think that's really all of my thoughts here. I'm trying to think if I'm forgetting anything before I try to end this. Maybe we'll let the battle finish off. I'm doing this slow because I was just trying to talk and let it do its thing, but I'll speed it up now. So you can speed up the combat in the game if you want to. So I'm going to do that now just to kind of show you and get this over with. As far as recommendations, I really don't know what to recommend in terms of like who's like the best. I mean, let's be real. Like the meta will change when new characters come out, so that's why I don't like to make recommendations because it'll basically change as soon as a new character comes out. So I just say collect whoever you think looks the coolest and just level them up as best you can, and I think you'll be all right no matter what. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. Let me show you the gacha actually before I go, so you know what I was talking about in terms of the summon gacha. So it is. So the first one will always be whatever the main banner character is. However, whoever's on here, my assumption will also be here. Oh, not here. I'm sorry. Will be here on the permanent summons. So you still have a chance of getting them here. This is just if you want to guarantee them, but it'll cost you 100 summons. Whereas here, you can get a random SSR for 80 summons, if I'm not mistaken. So I might be wrong on that. I don't pay enough attention. The light dark stuff, this is the stuff that costs a lot because it's like 3,000 gems for a multi, whereas these are only 1,000 gems for a multi. So that's kind of why this may not be worth it, or these might not be worth it because it's going to cost you a lot more resources to get. And the little tickets that you can get for them are hard to get unless you're spending. So, do with it as you will. But I recommend focusing on this for those of you that are not spenders. You get SSRs faster, but just understand that it will be random. Now, we did get like a selector where if you did 40 summons, you could guarantee a character of your choice, and there was like a list of a bunch of SSRs you could choose from. So if there's a particular character on there, if they do it the same way in June, you can do that 40 summons, pull an SSR pretty easily, and then focus on the permanent summons and just, hope you get lucky with a character you want and kind of go from there. In terms of money spending, it's the same with all gacha games. I always recommend the Battle Pass and, of course, the Daily Gem thing. But that's pretty much it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Someone's actually calling me. But hopefully you guys enjoy this game when it comes out. Later.